It's officially WrestleMania week. And the two biggest Raws of the year are always the Raw before Mania and the Raw after Mania. And the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw, which was 6 days before WrestleMania, took place in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And we start the show off with Stephanie McMahon, and it was April Fool's Day, so she wanted to make an April Fool's Day joke. It was that she was going to add herself into the women's main event and make it a fatal four-way match, but instead she was just making a joke, and the fans obviously reacted. The big announcement is that it's going to be winner take all. So we won't get the four horsewoman curtain call. You're not going to see Charlotte as the SmackDown champion, Becky as the Raw Women's champion, and Sasha and Bayley as the tag team champions, and them doing the four horsewoman pose and ending the show as the four champions. We're not going to get that winner take all. So it's either going to be Ronda, Charlotte, or Becky winning both titles. And I think what they'll just do is they'll have them both appear on Raw and SmackDown. He can do that. I think when Brock Lesnar was the first undisputed champion, they had him appear on both Raw and SmackDown. So you can do that with the woman. And then until they drop one of the belts, and he can just be champion on one of the brands. But I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think it adds to the main event. So that was basically it. It was quick. Then you have Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come and go. To say that the Lesnar-Rollins build-up has been lackluster is an understatement. I think there's more interest in Lesnar's match this year than last year. The match with Reigns was just a disaster. And I don't see any way the fans react that same way, but I think with Rollins, he isn't quite as over as I think the company wants him to be. And I think he's been overshadowed by two other matches, and that's the women's match, and that which is the main event program on Raw, and then the main event program on SmackDown is clearly Kofi and Daniel Bryan. I think both those matches have overshadowed it. And Seth Rollins, we'll see. Because I think the outcomes the fans want to see the most are Becky winning the title in the main event, Kofi Kingston defeating Daniel Bryan, and Seth Rollins defeating Brock Lesnar. I don't see any way WWE gives us all three. There's no way. And knowing how Vince McMahon books is he doesn't like to do too many big title chains, too many babyface triumphant wins on the same night. He only wants to do one or maybe two. And the problem with doing two is, or try doing all three is, he might think, well, one of them might overshadow the other. He might want the focus to only be on Kofi or Becky or Seth if they have a win. So I don't think they're going to get all three outcomes like the fans want. I think we might get one or maybe two. So this was interesting because Seth Rollins destroys Brock Lesnar. They have Rollins low blow Lesnar. He's basically a heel. Low blows him a second time. Lesnar's down. He's grabbing his crotch. It was kind of funny. And then Rollins hits the curb stomp, lays Lesnar out, and then he grabs the title belt and he poses over a fallen Brock Lesnar. If you are a Seth Rollins fan, you are pretty much devastated, because that usually means you're not winning. I could be wrong. I don't think that matters anymore, but when having a babyface or even a heel stand over the fallen champion posing with the belt 1 week before the show, that usually means you're losing. But they had Rollins destroy Lesnar, and I don't like Seth's chances now. So they had Seth Rollins in the back. He's being interviewed by, I think it was Charlie Caruso, and he jokes he did what he had to do. So he's basically a heel, I guess, now, and he says he's not champion yet. Next, we go to an 8-women's tag match. You have Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley against Nia Jax, Tamina, Peyton Royce, and Billie Kay. So this isn't a pre-show match. I think for sure this is on the main card because they're doing a WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. So this was the showcase for Beth Phoenix, and she got over. Beth Phoenix got really over here. I have to say, Sasha Banks, she's a beautiful woman. She looks fantastic. I think she, her hair looks really good. Anyway, this match, it was basically Sasha and Bayley tagging in, and there was tension between them and Natalya and Beth. But the thing is, we never saw anything from Nia Jax. She was like non-existent, which worries me, because now I hope they don't give her the win. But she was non-existent. I don't know why her and Tamina are in the Iconics for this match. We might as well just do a tag match, Bayley and Sasha against Beth and Natalya, and put the other four in the Battle Royal. But they're pushing the other two. They had Beth Phoenix kill Tamina, a spear through the barricade. Once they get back into the ring, it's Peyton Royce and Beth Phoenix, so much bigger than Peyton Royce, picks her up for the glam slam, leaves her there, holds her up, and then just slams her to the ground. Beth gets the win. Beth and Natalya win. And I don't know how they're going to go with this match. I think Sasha and Bayley should be the favorites, but It wouldn't shock me if they put the belt on Nia Jax and Tamina. That could be like the ultimate. They do that every WrestleMania. They have a heel one that no one wants, and then they just give them the belts. They did that with Jinder Mahal last when they gave him the U.S. title that no one wants to see. So I can easily see Nia Jax and Tamina. I'm probably going to pick them. Even though everyone wants Bayley and Sasha just to retain. They show Batista coming out of a limousine. He gets to the ring, and this is kind of the old Spotlight from like 2010. This is the Batista that's really good. And he tells Triple H to kiss his ass. He says, "Hunter, kiss my ass." And he drops the mic and he leaves. So this was another really good promo. I like this a lot. So, I mean, so far we're so good. I like the Brock and Seth stuff was really good. The Batista Triple H stuff was good. They didn't have Triple H appear because I think they know Batista's going to be cheered heavily. And Washington D.C. loved him in his hometown, so it made sense not to have Triple H appear. But so far so good on the show. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I thought the women's tag match was also built up well. I thought they made Beth look really good. So we have Elias in New York City in front of MetLife Stadium. Yeah, and Jinder Mahal and Apollo Crews lumberjack match. Apollo wins. We all know what's going to happen. Everyone gets in the ring. All the people in the battle royal get in the ring. Huge melee, and it ends up back with Apollo and Mahal. And Apollo kicks Mahal's ass again. He throws the singlers on top of him. So I don't like Apollo's chances of winning now. They show Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio backstage talking. I guess they're wrestling later tonight. Kurt Angle makes his way to the ring. He says this is his last night ever on Raw. He says thank you. They show a video package. They show Randy Orton talking, John Cena talking. I just don't understand how. They show Triple H. They show Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't understand it. Why the fuck is Kurt Angle wrestling Baron Corbin on the show? It's like, right? The one thing that sucked was there was so much negative reaction. I knew that nothing was going to change, but WWE was thinking, oh, we're going to get so much heat on Corbin. What's going to happen is Baron Corbin's winning this match. I'm making my first prediction official. I'll talk about later when I do my WrestleMania predictions. They are going to give Kurt Angle, or Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle's career. They're going to do that. They are going to give him his career, and they're going to get Corbin over and push him as a heel. Oh, we're going to get so much heat. This company is obsessed with heat. It's going to be a match. I just might not have. I'm not going to care. It's going to annoy me and piss me off. I'm just not going to even care about that match. It's a piss break. They're going to get Corbin over as a monster heel. They're going to push him heavily. Vince sees him as a star. He is the worst wrestler in the company, in my opinion. I can't stand the guy. I think he's fucking abysmal at his job, but he's big and tall. He's going to get a push. This fucking Applebee's waiter is going to beat Kurt Angle in his last match. It's fucking bullshit, but I'm not going to even care about the promo Corbin cut. It fucking sucks. Fuck Baron Corbin. This is fucking bullshit. Fucking bum. He's fucking horrible. Anyway, they show Charlotte back in the back. She's interviewed, I think it's Dasha. I don't know. Remember, it's Dasha, Charlie, Kathy, or Kayla. One of them, I don't really remember. Anyway, she talks about it. She talks about how she was blindsided by Becky, and she wants to break Becky's leg and make Ronda tap out. So pretty good promo. At least Becky's not selling her fucking leg anymore. So she has to keep her cool. That's a stipulation. If one of them loses their mind during 6 women's tag, they're out of the match. Next is the tag titles. You have Ricochet and Black against the Revival. Revival win. They win by count out. I think they're doing this match again at WrestleMania, I assume. I think they're doing a Raw and SmackDown tag match. I think the Raw match is probably going to be on the pre-show. The SmackDown match, I think, will get on the main card. But Revival beat Black and Ricochet by count out. They don't pin them. They're not going to beat Aleister Black and Ricochet anytime soon. It'll be interesting if this match gets added to WrestleMania because this will give Black and Ricochet double duty. They're already having a tag match. They're facing the War Raiders, NXT TakeOver New York, and they're going to go all out in that match. That's going to be both their last matches in NXT probably, so they're going to work their asses off, and then they might do another match at WrestleMania against Revival, which won't be any good most likely because it's a main roster tag match, but that's going to be double duty. So they show Ronda Rousey backstage, and she's boxing, and I think it was Charlie. They try to interview her. She doesn't want to talk. She's pissed off, just getting ready. This is bitch Ronda. This is good Ronda. They show Roman Reigns in the locker room, and they announce later it's going to. They show back last week when they had the 2 Saturday Night Live idiots in the Battle Royal. We see Alexa Bliss backstage with Tyler Breeze, and Alexa Bliss is looking just incredible. Her hair looks great. I think her and Sasha Banks, I don't know, so they did something to their hairs. I follow them on Instagram. My God, both their hairs look really good, I have to say. Alexa's WrestleMania week. Alexa's always looks good, but she looks even better. And but the whole segment, the focus is on she's taking credit for everything that's happening at WrestleMania, which is not something you really want to be associated with too much, to be quite honest. But she's talking about everything. All the matches, the main event, the women's main event, hosting, the Saturday Night Live stuff. Strowman shows up, and they showed EC3 just standing there, and this guy looks so fucking miserable. I couldn't believe it. EC3 looks like he's going to quit. This guy looked miserable as hell. And Strowman comes, and the focus goes on Strowman. He meets two idiots. One of them's black, one of them's white. So I guess he says the black guy is Michael Che, the white guy is Colin Jost. Which one of them's dating Scarlett Johansson? Lucky motherfucker. But I don't know. He just destroys him later in the show. They show Roman Reigns. Talks about Drew McIntyre. One of the ladies interviewing him. Again, I forget this lady's name. He gets crushed by McIntyre. McIntyre beats the shit out of him backstage. Destroys him. So I think Roman's winning. I think he's going to win for sure. I think McIntyre might go to SmackDown. They show Becky Lynch in the back. She's getting ready for her match. She talks about how she's going to walk out WrestleMania's champion. It's a very good promo by Becky. It's pretty much her go-home promo. And then we get the tag match. The three of them against the Riot Squad. They destroy the Riot Squad. No heat. Ronda Rousey crushes Liv Morgan, rips her arm out, taps her out. And then the biggest segment of the year. So what happens is there's a huge fight. They fight. All three of them are against each other. They're beating each other up. It's all battle, and a bunch of male security guards come in. And since the men can't touch women, they always has to be the one beating up the men. All three of them beat the crap out of these loser security guards. They crush them, and there's a fight. And then law enforcement comes, police officers come, and W hires some police officers who can't even fit into these uniforms, and they beat up police officers. Yes, we see cops getting beat up by Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, and this is wrestling. I mean, we used to see cops get beat up all the time. I remember one time, how much does Austin beat up cops and stuff like that? But all these cops are in the ring. They get beat up, and they can't control them, so they all have to handcuff them. All three are being handcuffed. They take them to the backstage, and there's another fight. They put Ronda and Becky in the same car, and they start kicking each other, and it's hilarious. They kick out the glass. This was funny. They take them to another car, and Charlotte attacks Becky. Charlotte's mad. Charlotte's being taken in, and then Ronda gets in the driver's seat and smashes the car into another cop car. It's fucking hilarious. It's really good. I love that. At first, I was thinking this is stupid. And as the went on, I loved that. I thought this was great. Eventually, all three of them are there, and it ends with Ronda has her head out the window, and Charlotte knees Ronda in the fucking heads. Like, she might have given her a concussion. And I bet Ronda's pissed at Charlotte. She just crushed her with this knee. This segment was absolutely hilarious. It was awesome. My only problem was, why the fuck isn't this the main event? Why isn't this the main event? Why not? Why? Like, no one's going to care. This was the end of the second hour. So you get to the third hour, it's like, all right, no one's going to care about anything else. And that's pretty much what happens. But yeah, that was an awesome segment. So we go Gable and Rudy against Otis and Tucker. I don't think Gable and Rudy will be able to come to much longer. Especially Gable. I think he's probably going to leave. They show a video package on Kofi. They tell that Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky are all in custody. They're all going to jail. Strowman kills those two jackasses who look like the Saturday Night Live losers. He crushes them both. Lashley does a promo. Him and Leo Rush. Just a good go-home show. I'm starting to like Raw. I think this is pretty good. I like a lot of stuff they're building up. And then we see on the Titantron, Finn Balor is the Demon. And the Demon is coming. So the Demon will face Bobby Lashley. And we will see Demon Finn is making his first big entrance at WrestleMania. That's going to be really cool. We're going to see that Demon entrance. The go-home edition of Monday Night Raw, the main event, has Baron Corbin in it. He's facing Corbin and Mysterio. It's a long match. This is the main event. No one really cares, to be honest. It is what it is. Kurt Angle, Corbin wins, and Kurt beats him up after a match, so for sure Corbin's winning. Yeah, so I think Corbin's winning 100%. Angle stands tall, and then they announced, like, they featured a women's main event, and they talk about how they're all in custody. But as Kurt's music plays, they show a graphic for Ronda, Charlotte, Becky, which is going to be the main focus. So there was things I really liked. I thought they did a lot. I thought the women's segment was fantastic. I liked the Brock set stuff. I liked the Balor stuff. I thought the Batista stuff was good. So I actually enjoyed it. It actually made me kind of excited. The card's very long, but for a go-home show of WrestleMania, I enjoyed the show. So, yeah, Raw did make me more excited for WrestleMania.